Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's One Tactical Medic. I want to do a real quick video post on some items I think all people that are kind of prepping and into that kind of stuff should have to make their job a little easier in their kitchen. Just some different items that I have that I'm going to go over real quick. This right here is a vacuum sealer. It's made by Rival. I believe I paid about $60 for this. Had it for about a year, and this thing has paid for itself. I absolutely use it all the time. I love it. Basically, you buy the rolls of the bags. These are two 11-inch bags by 7 foot. You cut as much as you need and then vacuum seal one end, and then put your contents in and vacuum seal the other end, and you're good to go. Here's some pinto beans we vacuum sealed. Here's a sample little MRE type thing that I made. It's got a Cliff Bar in there, some chicken noodle soup. You just add water to a thing of coffee, some fruit snacks, some matches, pomegranate drink mix for some electrolytes. But this thing's really handy. I use this in conjunction with my dehydrator. This dehydrator has 4 trays to it. I believe I paid about $50 to $60 for it, and I use this thing all the time. Dehydrate fruit, vegetables, make beef jerky, dehydrate stuff out of the garden, and then we'll turn around and vacuum seal it so it preserves it. But just to give you an idea, you know, beef jerky, I don't know where you're from, but around here, you know, you're going to pay $5 or $6 for about 2 ounces of beef jerky. Whereas I'll go to, you know, one of the stores and get top sirloin roast or some London broil, slice it up about a 1/4 inch thick, marinate it in some salt and some spices and some other good stuff, and I'll dehydrate it, and next thing you know I end up with a bag of beef jerky that tastes better than anything you'll buy. So, and it's a lot cheaper. To give you an idea, I bought a $20 London broil and then a $10 London broil, sliced it up, and it got me 2 bags of beef jerky about that big. So I'll be vacuum sealing the jerky and sending it to my brother in Colorado. He's been requesting it. So, but these 2 things, I mean, yeah, they're a little costly at the beginning, you know, but they're really handy to have. Makes food prepping and storage a lot easier. One of the other things I wanted to talk about, this is kind of a follow-up to Southern Prepper 1's video, is, you know, what are you deficient at as far as prepping? Well, I was deficient at canning, and now I'm proficient at it. I bought this canner at Walmart for about $75. I've been stocking up on the different size of cans, or the jars, both pint and quart size, to give you an idea of the different sizes. That's a quart, then you've got the pints next to it, and then a half pint. And I would suggest that you get the ones that have the wide mouth on them as opposed to the narrow one. Makes it a lot easier to funnel your stuff in there and seal them up properly. Don't get the Walmart mainstay version of the jars. At least in my opinion, they suck. I had 2 of them crack on me. The glass just seems a lot thinner than the Kerr or the Ball brand jars. But this is a fun little hobby. We've made a lot of stuff. I say we, like I have a mouse in my pocket or something. I have made a lot of stuff with this. My wife was afraid to use it, but this thing is very fun. It's addictive, and the cool thing about it is my 2 daughters, you know, they get to see Daddy, you know, prepping, and they get into it and help. So, you know, every year when we have our garden, we end up giving away a lot of fruits and vegetables. Well, this year we're going to be canning a lot of it, and then we may give some of it away. But just an idea of some of the stuff. There's some homemade dill pickles that are absolutely delicious. Some pickled onion and cucumbers and carrot. Homemade chicken noodle soup. I know it looks disgusting in there, but we had some the other night, and it is absolutely delicious. This is some homemade beef stew. This is absolutely delicious too. It's just funny how, you know, disgusting it looks in there, but when you pour it out into a saucepan and you heat it up, it tastes like you just made it. There's some homemade chili that we made. So I've got about 6 quarts of chili, 6 quarts of beef stew, 5 quarts of pickles, because I gave one away to my buddy Buffalo Sergeant, 4 quarts of the chicken noodle soup, because we've ate one and it's delicious. So it just gives you an idea of, you know, stuff you can make. As long as you follow the directions, it's kind of like baking. You know, baking's a science. I love to bake, but this is almost the same thing. You know, you got to follow steps, you got to get it right. You know, if you don't, you're going to end up with a mess on your hands or possibly foodborne illness. So, you know, do your research, do it right, make sure you're not going to get somebody sick. But this stuff that you do preserve, it will last as long as you keep it out of direct sunlight and keep it, you know, in between, I believe it's 50 to 70 degrees. Basically, you know, just keep it indoors in a pantry. Don't store it out in your garage or something like that. But so yeah, there's the pressure cooker. You know, these items are expensive, but my philosophy on this is I slowly acquired them. If you don't have the means or the money to do that, then, you know, just buy one, or you know, like these pressure cookers, you know, you can get them at garage sales, flea markets, swap meets, whatever. You know, but if you have a retreat group or a, you know, mutual defense agreement with, you know, some people, maybe you buy one and maybe they buy the dehydrator or the vacuum sealer, and, you know, get back to the sense of, you know, neighborly love, and get together on the weekend and, you know, vacuum seal some stuff. You know, you can make your dry goods, vacuum seal them with some oxygen absorbers, make your own MREs, stuff that you'll eat. You can also use the vacuum sealer to, you know, compress medical stuff for your bug out bags. You can shrink down a lot of stuff with that. I actually, you know, have some change of socks and change of underwear, some skivvies that are vacuum sealed in my bug out bag, just so they're waterproof and they don't take up as much room. So, but get together, you know, share your equipment, have a little prepping party. Maybe you buy one, your neighbor buys the other, and you guys just get together and hook it up. Buy the jars too, because you're going to need them. Another thing I wanted to touch on real briefly is cast iron. You know, in a SHTF or WROL situation, you're going to have a way to cook. You know, if you have natural gas, and that's great, propane, that's great, but even if that runs out, you're SOL. So I would highly recommend, you know, cast iron. This is just a small sample of the cast iron that I have. I've got a Dutch oven there, I've got a skillet here, I've also got a 14-inch skillet, I've got a whole bunch of griddles, ways to make cornbread. With that Dutch oven there, you know, you can hang it above a campfire and heat up soup or make stew or boil water for drinking or for sterilization. The lid also fits the skillet. You can also bake with this. I've made biscuits with this over a campfire when we go camping. So very handy to have. They're a little pricey, but again, you can pick these up at, you know, flea markets, or, you know, Goodwill sometimes has them. You know, just be resourceful where you get your stuff. Heck, even look on Craigslist. You know, put an ad on Craigslist looking for cast iron. So I hope this just gives you a quick idea. I'm kind of doing this video as a follow-up to Southern Prepper 1's video on, you know, deficiencies in prepping, and I just kind of want to show, you know, what I do as far as prepping and items that I use and items that I think all preppers should have. So I'm not the master, I don't know it all, but you know, the fun thing about this is the learning side of it. You know, it's learning a skill set, and it's, you know, providing for your family, you know, plus your kids see, you know, daddy doing stuff and they're not being babysat by the Xbox. So anyways, this is One Tactical Medic. I hope you got something out of this. Feel free to leave me questions, comments, observations, post comments. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoy it.